truth. Bring it on.
In this present crisis, government is not the solution to our problem. Government is the problem.
Do you want the whole truth? I don't think you're ready.
Governments don't control things. A government can't control the economy without controlling people.
It's Crane Durham's Nothing But Truth.
Good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. We're really glad you're here. Happy Monday. Hope you're not having a case of them. Just replace the Mondays for me with the fax machine for the printer. But I had Crane get right on that, so the printer guy, Crane, fixed it, of course. It took a little time. Welcome. Crane Durham's Nothing But Truth. Proudly on. Say it with me now. AFR Talk. And a lot to get to. We will be covering everything. No, we will have for you an update on Egypt with David Gardenstein-Ross of the Foundation for Defense of Democracies, as well as what Iranians were protesting on the 30th anniversary of the taking of hostages in Iran. And we'll talk to David about that. Hans von Spakovsky joining us to discuss the latest developments in ENDA legislation, as you just heard at the top of the hour through Chris Woodward's great anchoring, as well as the whole team, news team, doing a great job at American Family News, onenewsnow.com. What do you think we're going to talk about? Well, there's not really a big story. It's not like the president lied and we'd have people trying to lie about the lie. Why do you keep using lie? Well, it is nothing but truth, right? Knowingly mislead someone, telling a falsehood, knowingly. Yeah, that's what happened, and we're learning more and more about that. Now, for some of you just joining the broadcast, first time listening maybe to AFR Talk, first time listening to Crane Durham's Nothing But Truth, proudly on. I want you to know something. Before we go any further, I want you to know that God knows you. He created you. He loves you wherever you're at. And you're worth it. There's a plan for you. He's given you gifts. Don't ignore them. Are you pointing at people? No, I'm pointing up. Because I'm just a disciple in progress. Yeah, just as fallen. Let's go to Congressman McDermott. Well, who is he? Well, Congressman McDermott is far to the left, okay, Washington congressman. And he was on Al Sharpton's program, MSNBC's Al Sharpton. He has a program? Yes, he does. That race hustler? That's race baiter? How could anybody, what kind of network would give this guy a program? Is it a news analysis? Yeah, news analysis, commentating, you know. I mean, he's pretty radical, yeah. You know, he works with the President of the United States, Obama. Yes, yeah, just how radical they are. Incidentally, that's the latest. Republicans are just too radical. That's after they impose Obamacare and lie about it, and lie about Benghazi, and lie about the IRS. But it was too radical, those Republicans. I got to tell you, not about R's or D's. It's about accountability. So you vote Democrat, Republican, Independent, go ahead. I only ask you to hear the truth about what's going on. There are Republicans I'm not a fan of. And there are certain Democrats, I would say, over the years that I have been a fan of in the sense that at least they tell the truth about what they believe. I can respect that. I disagree with it, but I can respect it. McDermott on Al Sharpton's show. And he's talking about the Republicans and the repeal. And he says, this is going to be childish. I know. It's going to shock you. You're saying a congressman said this? Well, yeah. He says that Republicans don't care about people. Now, you would think that's pretty juvenile, Crane. Certainly, nobody's going to buy into that false narrative if they're trying to shape one. Well, they have for years, and that's why we don't have entitlement reform. But I digress. Here, McDermott, roll it.
Every time we turned around in the last year, the Congress was bringing, the House was bringing another bill forward to repeal Obamacare. They simply do not care about people. This is really, Al, a war on the poor. And this is one of the things that is the most difficult for the people at the lower end of the economic schedule to deal with. That is an illness or an injury. You can be wiped out for the rest of your life. It's why that's the #1 cause of bankruptcy. Absolutely nothing. They say, oh, well, we should repeal it. And do what? They have never put anything on the table to replace it. Not a single proposal in a year while they tried to repeal it 46 times.
They have a number of proposals, actually. Let's go to, what lie do I start with? Oh, okay. Well, I'll go with the bankruptcy. The bankruptcy myth. Did you hear about this? This is an unbelievable stat, and it's actually quite shocking that you would think that a congressman wouldn't make this because it's pretty easy to find. Though, as I look for it right now, I'm not able to. But ha-ha, there it is. He said bankruptcy was the top reason for medical costs, medical associated bankruptcy. That was the problem. That was the reason. People were declaring bankruptcy because of medical debt. All right, well, I'll just read this to you. A study by the Department of Justice examined more than 5,000 bankruptcy cases between 2000 and 2002 and found that 54% of the bankruptcies involved no medical debt, and more than 90% have medical debt of less than $5,000. Here's what the author of the study, who is a fan of single payer, this is from Diana Furchtgott-Roth, who served as the chief economist for the Department of Labor in the Bush administration and worked for Bush 1 as well as Reagan and served in both of those administrations. It's on Real Clear Markets. And it was written in 2009 when this was one of the things they used to sell Obamacare, because they couldn't sell it on the facts. And keep that in mind. They can't tell you the truth. They can't tell you the truth in presenting it and the reason why we need to do it. They can't tell you the truth about what it is. And afterwards, they can't tell you the truth about not telling you the truth. That's the truth. Nothing but truth. Back to it. This is Dr. Himmelstein, the guy who was in charge of the study at Harvard. One of the chief, there were two people, and in fact, they were both fans of single payer and belonged to an organization, Advanced Single Payer. That's where you're getting your information. I mean, might work for MSNBC. Here it is. He started with a random sample, I'm quoting from the article, of 5,251 bankruptcy petitions and wound up through a series of screenings only using 1,032. His survey assumes that when a medical problem is mentioned, that associated medical costs are automatically associated with bankruptcy. In addition, anyone who is counted as medically bankrupt if they cite illness or medical bills as a reason for bankruptcy, even if other debts, such as foreclosure and credit card debt, are the primary reason. Now, look, I've got to address this. That doesn't mean I don't feel for the people who do experience bankruptcy because of medical debt. Well, why would you say that? I mean, that's ridiculous. It would be pretty asinine to assume otherwise, Crane. I mean, think, just because you're pointing out a fact doesn't mean you don't care about people. Oh, no, it does. Did you hear about McDermott just now? That's how the left plays. And if you're on the left, it's unfortunate, because that's how your leaders speak up for you in advancing agendas. If I don't want to do it your way, I don't care. If I want to reform Social Security because it's a Ponzi scheme and demographically it cannot survive and it's intergenerational theft if we really think about it, that means I hate Granny, I hate Grandpa, and I really want to throw him off a cliff. Certainly, Crane, the political debate cannot be that bad, man. It is. Because that's all they got. That's all they have on the left. Now, there have been a number of things that have been looked at and for replacing things. Tom Price has a bill, I know. But here are the basics for the Republican plan for reform. Enact medical liability reform, purchase health insurance across state lines, expand health savings accounts, ensure access for patients with pre-existing conditions, permanently prohibit taxpayer funding of abortion. A little later on in the hour, I got to tell you this. Rand Paul defends himself against plagiarism, but the real story is what the plagiarism charge came from, and it deals with abortion. It's extraordinary. You're going to want to listen. Back to this. Again, if you don't reform the way they want you to reform, what happens? Tell me, Crane, what happens? Okay. It means you don't care. If you don't do it, if it doesn't involve more government spending, then you do not care. Understand that. You have no compassion unless it means taking more from the taxpayers, you and me. So understand if that's the rule. And that's what I really wanted to get to. I mean, we talk about getting involved and where we are right now. And we have a government, an administration that has lied, has been caught lying. And what do they try to do? Their answer is to lie about the lie. Now, I'm going to back that up with a whole host of examples, and then we're going to take your calls. By the way, Brent, I've never asked this. Can we go to break early? Yeah. All right. Let's get the break going. And get the band going. Didn't mean to. The band's ready, right? Hey, no more rest. Get the band ready. I don't hear them. Get the band ready. Are they there? Are you playing it? There we go. They're feeling it. Now, on the flip side of this break, I'm going to come back, and Fox News Sunday had a debate between Rahm Emanuel's brother, the quarterback of this legislation we know as Obamacare, the law, and James Capretta, who used to be, I think, with the Heritage Foundation, but now is with American Enterprise Institute. It was a doozy! And you're probably going to think that I clipped these in a way that no way somebody could say this and advocate for what this man said and advocated for. It'll be shocking, but you need to hear it. Crane Durham's Nothing But Truth, AFR Talk. We'll be right back.